Am I the a-hole stories? Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my mom, 51 female, and my sisters, 28 and 27 female, back into my life after they disowned me 6 years ago? My mom, 51 female, and my dad, 64 male, were married for 26 years. They had 3 kids together, me, 30 male, and my sisters Emily, 28 female, and Rachel, 27 female. 6 years ago, after staying with my dad for 27 years, she came out as a lesbian and asked Dad for a divorce. It was really unexpected. My parents were always very happy. I didn't see them fighting or anything like that. My dad found out that she was seeing a woman for 8 months before she asked for a divorce. It really hurt him. My dad absolutely adored my mom. My mom tried to deny, but my dad had proof of her relationship with that woman. My dad came from a very wealthy family while my mom came from a very poor background, so when they got married 32 years ago, my mom signed a prenup. The prenup had a really harsh infidelity clause, which means that when my dad was able to prove that my mom cheated on him, my mom, who was a stay-at-home mom for most of their marriage, didn't get any alimony, and the property division really favored my dad, 80% for him, 20% for mom. During the divorce, my mom and my sisters were making my life and my dad's lives a living hell. They were claiming that dad was being too harsh on mom, and punishing her for being gay. While I think that the outcome of the divorce was harsh on her. My mom and my sisters accused me of taking dad's side, while I was just trying to stay out of this whole mess. I tried several times to explain that I wasn't taking dad's side, but they refused to listen to me, and after the divorce was finished, they cut me off their lives. They refused to talk to me and my sisters disowned my dad. It was hard. I was really close with my sisters before that, and they cut me off and didn't even seem to care. After a lot of therapy for this, I eventually stopped trying and forced myself to move on. My wife gave birth to a beautiful baby girl 2 weeks ago. We were both really happy and my wife posted a photo of us with our daughter 10 days ago. Then last week, my mom, after ignoring me for all this time, called me, and she was actually mad that I didn't let her know that she was a grandma, and she was making plans to stay with me and my wife to help with her granddaughter. I told her that she shouldn't expect a free pass to my life after ignoring me for so long. She started crying, and I hang up. The next day my sisters called me, telling me that I was again being too harsh on mom, that I should move on, and that they forgave me for how I treated them, that they were excited to meet her. I told them the exact same thing, that they ignored me, and my dad got into a deep depression after my sisters disowned him. It was really bad, and that I don't want them around me, and especially not my daughter. I hang up after that. Now I'm receiving tons of calls, texts, and even emails from people, my mom and my sisters, and even my mom's wife, who accused me of being homophobic. My wife thinks our daughter deserves to meet her aunties and her grandma. I don't want them around her. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. They disowned you for trying to stay neutral / not side with a cheater. Doesn't matter if mom's gay, that doesn't justify cheating and hurting people who cared for you. I honestly don't understand why people think cheating on someone is no big deal if it's part of your coming out story. If you're questioning your sexuality and want to test the waters, you don't do it behind your partner's back. The mom and sisters also don't understand the concept of a neutral party, because they appear to operate on your either with us, or against us mentality. Not the a-hole. They disowned you 6 years ago because you tried to stay neutral. You aren't being homophobic, as the gender of your mom's affair partner doesn't sound as if it matters at all. Why let people back into your life who treated you like that, when they haven't even apologized? Not the a-hole. Hold your ground on this. At a minimum, they need to apologize to you for the past 6 years. Tell your wife I love you. I love our daughter. I don't want their toxicity in my orbit. Stay strong, dude. They called you. Did they even try to apologize? Did they try to talk with you why they cut you out of their life? Any efforts to restore the relationship? Did your sisters reconcile with your dad? They say that you should move on, right? Did they move on and reconciled with your dad? Your wife should have your back and support you. You didn't cut them off, they cut you off. I really don't understand your wife. They didn't apologize to me at all. They actually said they forgave me for siding with dad, which doesn't make any sense at all. I didn't side with anyone and they actually think it's my fault that they didn't even call me to ask how I was doing in these last few years. It's really messed up. No, my sisters haven't even called my dad in these last few years. 2 years ago he was diagnosed with lung cancer and had to go through 2 surgeries and chemotherapy. My sisters didn't even call, or visit him at the hospital. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend she can leave if she doesn't want my niece and nephew staying with us? Me, 33 male, and my girlfriend, 27 female, have been together for 7 years and have a 6-year-old son. Recently my brother, 35 male, passed away, leaving his son, 7 male, and daughter, 7 female. Currently, my niece and nephew are living with me since they have nowhere else to go. They are getting along great with my son, they're good friends, but my girlfriend isn't happy that they're here. We can financially sustain them living with us, and my son enjoys their company, so I don't see the problem. Last night, my girlfriend told me that she doesn't want them here, and I need to find another place for them to stay. I told her if she doesn't want them here, she can leave. She was livid and she hasn't talked to me all day. I know this probably sucks for her, doesn't like people invading her space, but I love my niece and nephew, and I refuse to leave them without any support. Am I the a-hole? Added to make it clear. I do all the child care for my niece and nephew, and most for our son. Also, me and my girlfriend have had conversations about it before, but we never reach an agreement. Only my name is on the lease, my girlfriend didn't pay for this house, and it is not her house. Also, I have a well-paying job and savings from inheritance, so I am well equipped to fight in the court if it comes to that. My name is on the birth certificate and our son has my last name, also I have full custody. Also, there are no common law marriages where I live. To make sure everyone understands, I have 100% full custody of my son. I was given full custody, court order, shortly after his birth, so my girlfriend could focus on her education and enjoy her younger years. That is what she wanted. I did all the childcare for our son's early years. Also, my house is more than big enough to fit all of us, and there is no extended family who is interested in taking my niece and nephew in, so it is me or foster care. To answer a common question, our son's conception was accidental, and we were not in a really stable relationship for the first few years, so we decided I should be given full custody. Now for the top comments. No a-holes here. Your girlfriend has been put in a difficult position as well. Raising 2 orphaned kids is a lot. Does this impact your future plans? As in, were you guys contemplating more kids? Decided one was enough? Thought about moving? 2 new small children often disrupt life plans. Neither of you should be issuing ultimatums right now. Both of you need to recognize the stressful and difficult situation this is. Obviously, you need to keep the kids, but maybe talk to her about her fears and why she wants them gone. She might just be panicking about whatever future plans you guys had. This situation is really hard for everyone in it. OP just lost their brother, 2 kids just lost their father, and the girlfriend must feel like she got bombarded with 2 new additions to their household, which is overwhelming. It's not fair to go to the length of kicking your long-term girlfriend out, but you can tell that OP has probably accepted these kids as his own now and wants to protect them at all costs for the sake of his brother. Edit. Oops, never mind. After reading all the replies to other comments and seeing the edits, OP is definitely an a-hole. You know, I came into this one very sympathetic towards you. But then I read your responses to other comments. You're the a-hole, big time. Their son. That she apparently ditched for a few years to live her young years. And now she wants to have his nephews dumped into foster care? Yeah, no. She's the a-hole here no matter how much OP is the man in the story. Not the a-hole OP. Exactly. What has OP said that makes him so bad? I've read every comment, and he is doing the best he can for his son and nibblings. He even has full custody because the mother wanted to go and live her life when the son was born. But somehow OP is the a-hole for wanting to look after his brother's children? What am I missing here? Not the a-hole OP, and this subreddit is so full of misandry it beggars belief. Yeah mate, I also saw that one and completely agree. There is something very wrong with the hive mind on this sub. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not allowing my girlfriend's child to move back in? First off, I'm going to try to make this non-one-sided as I can, and if I leave anything out, please ask so I can get fair judgment. I, 33 male, live in a very wealthy county near the East Coast with a fantastic school system and safety net. It wouldn't surprise me at all if someone were to guess it. My home is just a normal house. It's not going to be featured on TV or a magazine, however it's valued well over $1 million, simply because of the location. I inherited this home from my parents who left it to me along with 2 other homes that I rent out. I do not work. I understand that is a privilege. My girlfriend is 31 and is taking classes for a nursing degree. She currently works as a CNA. If you don't know, a CNA is a very tough job but doesn't make much money at all. She works and studies hard. We've been together for 4 years. I do love her very much. My girlfriend has a daughter that is 13 this summer. The issue is, the daughter hates me. At least once a day there would be a snide remark on how her mom works, but I don't, and I'm just lazy. She mocks me whenever I have an opinion that's different from hers. She talks about me to her grandparents, dad, and friends, which gets back to their parents because I make her mom work and I'm lazy. It's always something. This past fall, she began acting out in physical ways. She broke 2 windows in the house, deflated the tires on my car and my bike, cracked my switch screen, and the last straw, Was letting my dog loose in the neighborhood, resulting in him being caught by animal control. Yes, he was fine, but that isn't okay at all in my book. I told girlfriend that her daughter had to go. If I lost her as well, then so be it. She's a mom first and her daughter isn't coming around even with therapy. Girlfriend asked for more time and she would make it work, and explained she couldn't leave her job and school as it would push her degree further away. I told her, daughter had to go. No more discussion. Here's where I'm lost. Daughter asked girlfriend if her grandparents could take her in until she's done with school. Everyone was good with this. Daughter was very happy vocally with this, until school started, because her grandparents live 2 hours away in a very poor school district. Again, some can probably guess the location where we live, and she's getting bullied really bad. She told her mom that it's because of race, and it's gotten physical twice, but most of it is really bad verbal bullying. She can't go to the local park to walk, or she comes home in tears from what I understand. Daughter has started asking to come back here after winter break, and her mom thinks that was the kick she needed to be respectful. I refused. I don't want her here anymore. Life is peaceful and I'm not being attacked anymore, and I'm living the life I want without judgment. She could have killed my damn dog. Am I the a-hole for not allowing her daughter to move back in? Now for the top comments. I prob get heat over this, but not the a-hole. The a-hole in this story is your girlfriend, who chose you over her own daughter. I can't call you an a-hole for not wanting to house a child that's not yours. She is not your responsibility, and you told her mother that you no longer wanted the responsibility. Your girlfriend on the other hand should have done a better job, to either have you two get along, or find a new place for her and her daughter. In the spirit of honesty, I would have taken in more responsibility, but her dad is still in the picture, and I was told by both, nicely to be honest, that parenting isn't my job. This makes me think not the a-hole even more. But if you are considering kids in the future, you may want to take a deep look into the way your girlfriend parents her current child. I have one biologically and he is enough lol. Thank you for your advice. I can't believe I'm saying this, but not the a-hole based solely on the presence of a pet. You're right, she could have killed your dog. So OP, you are not the however, given she is a 12-year-old girl, and you say you love your girlfriend, you could give her a chance. Set super strict boundaries on her living circumstances, have a zero-tolerance policy on infractions, and require family counseling, which would include you and the dad. If her dad says no to your involvement, then okay, no problem and it's a no-go. Lastly, your girlfriend is an awful parent. She's broken her child, and does not take responsibility. Real responsibility looks like taking sole responsibility. This poor young lady's predicament is 100% not your fault, and you likely have zero real impact on her future. The person who is responsible is making this about living arrangements, which it is not. Think about what kind of mother she would be if you had children together. She shouldn't be getting a pass from you. Not the a-hole, but I think you need to understand that if you view your girlfriend as a long-term romantic partner, her daughter will always be part of that situation. If you can't tolerate her daughter, which you understandably can, I don't think you can ever take your relationship to the next level, and you're wasting your own time. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom the truth about how I felt about her partners? My mom, 44 female, had my sister, 18 female, and I, 27 female, very young and had been a single mother for the majority of our lives. Our dads were not involved at all. My mom had her fair share of partners, majority of them whom were younger men whom I tolerated, and also only to keep the peace, as every time I would raise my opinion on them, she would kick me out the house or not talk to me for weeks on end / withhold allowances etc. Admittedly, this created a big divide with us and I moved out the house as soon as I turned 18. Our relationship is okay now, but she admits that she feels like she does not really know me all that well anymore. On to the issue. My sister got pregnant last year and decided to keep the baby. My niece is now 8 months. My mother does not like the baby daddy at all, and I admit he is a bit naive, but he is not a bad guy. In my opinion, my mother meddles way too much, causing even more fights within the family, and yesterday after another fight, my mom constantly threatens to call Child Protective Services if my sister doesn't leave her boyfriend. She kicked my sister out of the house. She phoned me not long after in tears, and generally I am the mediator. I told my mother that threatening my sister is not acceptable, and will cause resentment from my sister's side, and she needs to give the boyfriend a chance to prove himself, and also needs to not always threaten my sister, as she will ultimately result in my sister going no contact, which means we will not see my niece. My mom complained and said, she will do anything to get rid of her partner and does not care about making ultimatums. I gently reminded her that my sister and I have also had to accept her partners for the sake of her happiness, and she lost her mind. She said it wasn't the same, and said I was being an a-hole and then put the phone down. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole, Your mom sounds like a narcissist and I'm glad you got out. I hope your sister does too, soon. You told her the absolute truth and she chose not to hear it. What you said will happen, and when it does, she will still somehow act surprised. Thank you. I know this is bound to happen because I went low contact for many years after moving out. I'm not the a-hole. Threatening to call CPS is serious. And it could ruin your sister's life. If that baby gets taken away, your sis will never speak to her again. Mom doesn't have healthy boundaries. Have you talked to the sister to help her gain better understanding of the situation? I think she needs the most support right now. Your mom is the a-hole. Thank you. My sister, albeit young, is a fantastic mother, and it disgusts me that my mother would phone CPS for no reason. I do think my sister has made the mistake of telling my mom about absolutely every little argument she's had with the boyfriend, and it's honestly stupid things, like arguing about doing dishes etc., and to my knowledge there has never been anything that puts my niece or sister at risk. I constantly play advisor to both my mother and my sister as I've been there, and I've pretty much had to raise them both. She knows I have her back and that I completely support her. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.